What up? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? It is the Church Guys Sports Show for November the 8th, 2023. Postgame show, Knicks and the Spurs tonight. Knicks win big, 126 to 105 over the San Antonio Spurs in Victor Wembanyama's first visit to Madison Square Garden. And the Knicks dominated this game pretty much from pillar to post, from beginning to end. The Knicks dominated this one. Do us a favor, as always. Please like, share, tag, comment. Let's get the conversation started on this evening. Right now, flying solo. Hopefully, one or all of my co-hosts will join us. Again, this is Bishop Dwayne Lodeholt. We're here. We're waiting on Bishop Robert Butler, Bishop Jason McCants, Pastor David Wright to see who will come on tonight as the New York Knicks win tonight. The New York Knicks win tonight, beating the San Antonio Spurs, 126 to 105. And so while we're waiting for the fellas to join, for those that can, everybody's not going to be able to join tonight. We know that there are a lot of great things that are going on, that are coming up. But do us a favor, again, like, share, tag, comment. Join us in the chat if you can. We are really, really excited about this Knicks win. But with every good thing, there are also some things that we got to talk about. So we invite you to join us in the comments section tonight. You're my co-host tonight. Bless you, Auntie Cynthia. Good to see you. Good to see you as always. Join us in the comments tonight and share with us your thoughts on tonight's game if you were able to watch it. Join us and share your thoughts and comments on the Knicks and what the Knicks are doing and how they're doing so far this season. Knicks record improves to 4-4 on the campaign. Early season, 8 games in, 4-4. We've been talking in great depth and detail about some of the issues that this team has had early season, some of the struggles that have been going on. But I want to talk about some good things that happened tonight. First and foremost, let's talk about Rowan Alexander Barrett Jr., better known as R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett again tonight, another fantastic game. Second game back from the 2 games that he took off for the soreness in his knee. 24 points tonight, 6 assists, couple of rebounds as well. Another all-around solid game for R.J. Barrett. As again, people know that this is year 5 for RJ, but again, this kid's only 23 years old. He is only 23 years old, and he's rounding into form. We said it at the beginning of the season that this was going to be the year that he was going to take the leap, and it looks like it's happened. He has been consistent. I'll just go out and say it. RJ Barrett has consistently this season been the Knicks' best player. RJ Barrett has been the Knicks' best player so far this year. And that's taking nothing away from the 45 that Jalen Brunson had a few nights ago. That's taking nothing away from Julius Randle now in the last couple of games starting to find his way. R.J. Barrett has been the most consistent Knicks starter, and he's been doing everything that is necessary to take the leap. I'm watching how the game has slowed down for him. You can see that his decision-making is better. He's taking that extra beat, not forcing or rushing shots. There was a sequence tonight where his defender played his first 2 moves very well, and he just patiently outweighted his defender and was able to score over him. R.J. Barrett has truly been a revelation so far this season, and the New York Knicks win tonight, again, 126 to 105 over the San Antonio Spurs. Not enough can be said about R.J. Barrett and what he's done so far. Julius Randle tonight, 8 of 19 from the floor for 23 points. Jalen Brunson, 8 of 19 as well for 25 points. Neither of those guys is really in their flow yet, and the Knicks have still managed to be 500. And that's the kind of thing that kind of, when you look at it, it's a gift and a curse, I guess, because if you had told Knicks fans really at the beginning of the year that both Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson would struggle for the most part to start the season, most people would have called you crazy, and the Knicks would still be 4-4. Most people would have thought, they jokingly called the Knicks Big Three, a mid three, but the reality is as Brunson and Randall usually go, so go the Knicks. And they really haven't been great this year. Brunson saved for one really good game. Julius has not, even though his last two games have been better scoring, he has not really had a great game yet this year all around. So it was interesting to see that it has been interesting to see so far through the first 8 games that the New York Knicks have not been able to be competitive. Their defense really keeps them in games. Hubie Brown said it tonight on the ESPN telecast. Shout out to Mike Breen and ESPN's Hubie Brown on the call tonight on ESPN. Hubie Brown said, the Knicks defense is still tops in the league, and because the Knicks defense is still tops in the league, they're able, from a defensive standpoint, to be able to stay in games. What strengthened the Knicks and was their biggest strength last year was two of their biggest strengths was their defense, of course, and the fact that they rebounded well and they did not turn the ball over. Tonight, the New York Knicks returned to that form, and they only had 4 turnovers for the entire game. That is absolutely huge. The Knicks had 4 turnovers, 4 for the entire game, and because they only had 4 turnovers, they were able to take command of this game early. Once they got to a double-digit lead, the lead never got below double digits again tonight, and they spoiled Victor Wembanyama's first and only trip to the Garden this year, beating them handily. Let's talk about Wemby for a minute. And we invite you again to like, share, tag, and comment. We invite you to jump into our comment section tonight as well. It looks like tonight I'm flying solo, so you're going to be my co-host tonight. Those of you who saw the game, those of you who want to talk Knicks, drop your comments and your questions into the chat, and we will talk about it tonight. We're going to talk about it. Let's talk about Victor Wemby and his point and his numbers tonight. Victor Wembanyama, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists on tonight. Very pedestrian numbers for the number 1 pick out of France. We said it on Monday night's post-game show. We talked about how Wemby was one of 2 things was going to happen coming into the Garden tonight. Either Wemby was going to have a huge game and he was going to really establish himself as an elite player in his first season. Remember, Wemby's only 19 years old, or the Garden lights were going to be too big and too bright for him. And tonight, the Garden lights were big and bright, but we must credit the defense of the Knicks' 2-headed big man monster of Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein. They kept Wemby off the boards. Mitchell Robinson came within a basket shy of a double-double, but he had 12 more rebounds tonight. What can you say about Isaiah Hartenstein on the offensive end tonight? Isaiah Hartenstein was a revelation offensively with 13 big points. He only had 3 rebounds, but a lot of hustle plays. And most importantly, they pushed Wemby around tonight. Tonight, they pushed Wemby around. They kept him off of his spots. They didn't allow him to breathe easy. He couldn't really get into a good rhythm and flow. And they just decided that they weren't going to let this kid come into the Garden and do anything. And, I really appreciate that because as a real old-school Knicks fan, throwback to the 80s and especially the 90s Knicks, that was the Knicks mantra. If you came into the Garden, superstar or not, you were not going to push the Knicks around. You had to be otherworldly like Michael Jordan back then in order to be able to have great games in the Garden. And tonight, defensively, the Knicks were kind of a throwback to that. They pushed Wemby around. Do bear in mind, this is a very young Spurs team. The Spurs team is very, very young. And so, they fall to 3-5 after tonight's loss. But this young Spurs team, they're going to be good. They've got some nice young pieces that have to learn how to play together. Zach Collins looked real good tonight. The pickup of Cedi Osman for them off their benches was pretty good. Wemby, of course, was Wemby. They've got this 6'8" kid playing point guard, Sochan, who looks like he's going to be really, really good. He's not really that great a shooter, but he does a lot of little things. He plays defense, and he kind of frustrated Jalen Brunson a little bit tonight from what I saw with what he was doing as far as that goes. So on tonight, the New York Knicks win, again, 126-105 over the San Antonio Spurs. And, just talking about the various things that come with this for the New York Knicks, now looking ahead to what's next for the Knicks. The Knicks get 3 days off, and they'll be back in action on Sunday and Monday with a back-to-back. Sunday at home against the Charlotte Hornets to close out this homestand. And then on Monday night, they'll head up to the TD Bank Garden in Boston to play the Celtics for the second time this year and try to get a measure of revenge from that opening night loss. But again, tonight, the Knicks win 126 to 105. Got to dig into some of the negative, and I know it seems like since this season we started the podcast, it seems like most of the negative we talk about stems and extends around coaching. And tonight was really no different, at least from my vantage point, because in watching the coaching on tonight, there were some head-scratching moments for me in terms of substitution patterns. Once again, the Knicks bench was absolutely phenomenal. I will say it till I'm blue in the face. One of the biggest Knicks strengths that they have, aside from Mitch's rebounding, offensive rebounding, aside from their team defense as a whole, the Knicks bench really plays with such an abandon and such a looseness and carefreeness that when they get out there, they are absolutely phenomenal at what they do. And tonight was no different. For 2 games in a row, the Knicks bench carried them. Monday night against the Clippers, you saw the bench blow open a tight game so the Knicks could win that game walking and running away. Now tonight, they faced a younger Spurs team, and it was already pretty lopsided, but that bench came in and at one point pushed the lead to 30 points tonight. The Knicks went up by 30 in this game. And going up by that much, I'm really trying to understand why you go back to the starters so early. I would have rode the bench a little longer and really tried to break the will of the Spurs early. But of course, this coach, Coach Tibbs, did not do that. And in him not doing that and going back to the starters, let me show you, tell you the biggest contrast, at least from my vantage point, for what I see. And if you're out there and you got a thought about this, please type it in the comments. But the New York Knicks, for me, one of their biggest issues that they have in terms of dealing with their coaching is the fact that Tibbs' loyalty to his starting 5, particularly Randall, and even, yes, Jalen Brunson to a point. And no, I'm not railing on Jalen. I know he's had a bit of a slow start. He had a long, hard summer and all of that. But there is a noticeable difference between the way the bench plays and the way the starters play. The bench plays with pace. They play with speed. Their hands are active defensively. They move the ball. They get open shots. And when you're in rhythm like that, those shots fall. You see Dante DiVincenzo, when he's out there with the second unit, that 3 is falling because it's a rhythm 3. He played at Golden State last year, who their team is all about ball movement and rhythm. And he shot 44% last year from three-point range. He's not quite there yet with this team, but I noticed that when he plays with the starting unit or the ball, especially Julius Randle, the ball slows down. The ball gets stuck, and when Julius gets the ball in the pinch post, he's going to hold it for 5 seconds. He's looking to make a decision. He's looking to try to decide if he's going to shoot or pass. He's waiting for the double team to come, and that causes the offense to stagnate, and it makes it easy for defenses to recover on you. And the Knicks struggle in the half court when that starting unit is on the floor because Julius Randle holds the ball too long. And, that sort of, the Julius Randle playing that way really makes things difficult for the offense. But when that bench comes in, Manuel quickly is moving the ball, getting into the lane, getting shots and floaters, getting up threes, quick trigger. Dante DiVincenzo, same thing. Josh Hart is finally starting to show some confidence in his jump shot again. He missed a few tonight, but again, I can live with it because Josh Hart was finally once again taking the wide open 3. When those things happen, long rebounds happen. You catch the defense out of place, which allows you to offensively rebound well. These are little things that happen that are really paramount for a team that has higher than second round aspirations like the Knicks do. We said it from the beginning. The Knicks are fashioning themselves as the third best team in the Eastern Conference. But, we have not seen that so far. And I know it's very early. We're 8 games in. But the Knicks do have the potential that if they play the way that they did for most of the 48 minutes, they didn't play a 48-minute game tonight. They really didn't. But if they can play this way most of the night, mostly every night, minimizing turnovers, allowing themselves to get out in the open court, rebounding and offensive rebounding strongly, and then, of course, knocking down the 3. That's a huge thing from tonight. Some stats to run at you real quick. The Knicks shot 45% from 3 tonight, The Knicks shot 45% from three tonight. That never happens. It's an aberration. I'm looking for them to be cold on Sunday against Charlotte just simply because they don't shoot that well where it comes to shooting the three. So we're looking for the Knicks to probably not have as great a game. But again, if the ball moves, they're going to be fine. When the ball gets stuck, particularly when Julius Randle gets stuck in the pinch post, and I love Jalen Brunson, but when he pounds the ball into the ground, and as amazing as his footwork is, when his shot is not falling, the Knicks struggle because defenses collapse on him. And Brunson has to find more confidence in his open three because when he knocks that down, it opens up the other areas of his game. So the Knicks still have a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work that the Knicks have cut out for themselves going forward. It looks like, again, we're flying solo tonight. We again invite you to share your comments, like, share, tag, comment. We want to hear from you tonight as the Knicks beat the San Antonio Spurs 126-105 tonight in front of a sold-out Madison Square Garden in Victor Wembanyama's Garden debut, which was spoiled for him. They showed the graphic of Michael Jordan's debut back in 1984 in the Garden, 40 years ago in the Garden, and how he put up 33 in a Bulls win over the Knicks. But Wemby would not have the same luck on tonight as the New York Knicks beat the San Antonio Spurs 126-105. Quickly, let's go around the NBA. It's going to be an abbreviated show tonight because, again, I ain't got nobody to spar with tonight. So Brooklyn Nets beat the LA Clippers tonight 100-93. Brooklyn now improves to 4-4, so they're tied with the Knicks currently. Tonight, Paul George had 24 for the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard with 17, Russell Westbrook with 13, James Harden only 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists tonight. That Clippers bench is struggling. They're getting nothing really from P.J. Tucker, from Bones Highland. They're getting nothing from Trey Mann. They got very little from Norman Powell tonight. And tonight the Brooklyn Nets kind of spread the wealth. They played well. They played well defensively, really shutting down the LA Clippers in that win. Again, Brooklyn wins 100-93. Tonight, 76ers over the Celtics. The Celtics have lost 2 in a row. 76ers over the Celtics tonight, 106-103. The Indiana Pacers, who are scoring a lot of points. That's a fun offensive team, but these numbers are not sustainable. Pacers put up 134 points tonight, beating the Utah Jazz 134-118. Washington Wizards tonight over the Charlotte Hornets, who the Knicks will play on Sunday, 132-116. And the rest of the games are still going on with late in the fourth quarter. End of 3. Raptors over the Mavericks right now, 94-85. Just about 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Thunder lead the Cavaliers 113-108. Timberwolves lead the Pelicans, Zionless Pelicans, tonight by 21 as they're in the final moments of that. The Timberwolves are going to win that game. The Bucks are losing right now to the Detroit Pistons, 113-108. Miami Heat up by 5 over the Grizzlies, 91-86. The Houston Rockets blowing out the LA Lakers by 30 right now, 121-91. And the Phoenix Suns lead the Chicago Bulls 106-103 with just about 3 minutes to go in that game. Just underway, the Sacramento Kings and Portland Trailblazers and the Denver Nuggets and the Warriors just underway on ESPN. Once again, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. For those of you who joined in even for a few minutes, again, you can like, share, tag. We admonish you to like our Facebook page and join us on Facebook. We also admonish you to to subscribe to our YouTube page, Church Guys Sports on YouTube. Also, our podcast will be available on Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts, so you can find us there. And please join us here. We will not be on. It's a noon tip on Sunday. We'll all be in church. Noon tip on Sunday, so there'll be no post-game on Sunday afternoon. There'll be no post-game on Sunday afternoon. But then Monday, we will be back with a post-game on Monday night following Knicks Celtics from the TD Bank Garden. So, again, we thank you for joining us tonight. Knicks win 126-105 over the Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. It's amazing. Coach Greg Popovich is in his 28th year of coaching. That is absolutely amazing. He's been with the Spurs now since 1996, 28 years of coaching. And, he's still doing great. Now developing another young squad that I think has some real potential coming up. He's coaching the youngest team in the NBA. And so, I think there are good things in the Spurs' future with Pop at the helm. But, again, tonight is all about the New York Knicks and that win tonight over the San Antonio Spurs. So, again, no show on this coming Sunday. It's a noon tip-off. We'll talk to you on Monday, post-game, following Knicks and Celtics from the TD Bank Garden. As we close tonight, as always, orange and blue skies once again are riding all over this great city of New York. And for all of us who are Knicks fans everywhere, once again, we say orange and blue skies. We'll see you on Tuesday night. We'll see you on Monday night. We'll see you on Monday night after Knicks Celtics. Have a great night, everyone. Orange and blue skies. This is Church Guys Sports. We'll talk to you soon.